Hey, everybody. Good to sort of see you. Yes, like Ryan said, I am from Lincoln, which is just about 7 minutes down the road. Yeah, and Lincoln's a cool little town. It's getting cooler. We're working on making it cooler. But we've been there for 13 years, and we love it. It's a lot of fun. Also, like Ryan said, I've been at a church as the community pastor for the last little over 10 years, which has been a great growing experience for me as well. One thing I forgot to tell Ryan that I'll just tell you now is that I'm also a strengths coach. So if you've heard of life coaching, which, you know, there's a million life coaches out there now, my life coaching has to do with strengths. So if you work with me, I automatically have you take the strengths assessment, and we use that as the framework of the work of helping you to reach your goals, whatever those are. So I love doing that, and if you want to talk more about coaching, I would love to talk with you about that. All right. Okay, so it's great to be here at Jessup University. I think the first time we toured here was 2005 when we first moved here. And it's such a beautiful campus, and I love any chance I get to be here, whether it's a church fair or a concert. I think I'm actually going to take a group of girls here for the Beauty and the Beast play, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah. All right, so I have a question for you to begin with. Question is, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Who's ever said that to you before? Raise your hand. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Okay, how many have said that to yourself? What's wrong with me? Yeah, I think that's pretty common too, right? Yeah. All right. Well, we're actually not going to talk about that because I really don't care what's wrong with you. But what I really do care about is what is strong with you. What's strong with you? That's a good one, right? Yeah. So we're going to do something, and it's going to help us know what is strong with us. Okay? It's a little game. It's really easy. It's called Stand Up If You Always. So that's pretty self-explanatory, right? I say something that resonates with you, and you stand up. Okay? Super easy. I know you can do it. All right, are you ready for this? All right, you're going to learn a lot about your fellow students here, all right, or classmates or whatever, chapel mates. All right, so stand up if you always, oops, need my glasses, can't read. There we go. Always need your glasses, that's me. Okay, so stand up if you always read, research, and listen to podcasts in your spare time. I knew my husband would be one of those. All right. Thank you. All right. Stand up if you always feel totally comfortable speaking in front of a large crowd. Oh, good. So if I get really nervous up here or I forget what I'm supposed to say, I'm just going to, I'm going to just have like Cameron or somebody else come up here and just take over. All right, good. All right, stand up if you always stick with the decision even when everyone else changes their mind. All right, conviction. Yeah. All right. Stubborn, conviction. No, not stubborn. It's all good. It's conviction, right? Okay. Stand up if you always love the brainstorming process and coming up with ideas. Lot of idea, people. This is good. Excellent. So, you know, if you're looking to do a project, look at the people that have the good ideas. Good. All right. Here's a good one. Stand up if you always deeply feel the pain and emotion of your friends. I'm so sorry. I know that's hard, isn't it? Okay, that's a lot of you. Wow. That's good. It's a very caring group. All right, stand up if you always keep your room orderly with everything in its place. Oh, wow. Nice. You would not like my room. Okay. Here's a good college one. Stand up if you always have no problem taking a spontaneous trip to In-N-Out at midnight. Nice. That's what I thought. Good. Now you all want In-N-Out, right? All right. Or trips are forming right now to go a little bit later. I know it. All right. Stand up if you always love making your to-do lists and checking off your boxes. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, you can sit down. Stand up if you always see the risks in every decision and think things through. Okay, there's some serious people here. We need these people. We need these people. All right, stand up if you always start a conversation with a stranger anywhere, like in an elevator or a store. That's me. You're my people. Yeah, all right. Okay, stand up if you always act on an idea before others. They're still talking about the idea and wasting time, but you're ready to go. Yep. Awesome. Okay, just a few more. Stand up if you always collect all kinds of things that might be helpful to others someday. You're a collector. All right. Stand up if you always can guess the ending of a movie. Oh, you're so smart. Okay, but you're not allowed to say it in the presence of others, okay? All right, lastly, stand up if you always look at the bright side of life. Oh my goodness, these girls are like, yay! That was awesome. All right, thanks for playing my little game. That was a lot of fun. All right, so from that, you see, we are so different from one another. We're beautifully unique. God created us in such a specific, unique way, didn't he? And each one of those things, believe it or not, they point back to a talent and different behaviors and ways of thinking and what is strong with us. Those are clues to what's strong with us. So I wanted to tell you a little story. When I was a little girl, I really enjoyed meeting people. Everywhere we would go, if I would see other kids, I would have no problem at all just going up and, do you want to be my friend? Or my name is Sandie or whatever. And just loved it. Always that was just energized me so much if I had a chance to be with other friends. But more than playing with my friends was actually meeting new friends. I've even joked about that I enjoy meeting new people more than hanging out with my friends, which is not really true, but sometimes that energy I get from meeting new people makes me feel that way. So anyway, loved playing with kids in my neighborhood, meeting new people, and then our family moved. We moved from Danville to Redding, California, and our houses were far apart. And it was hard because I had no friends, and they weren't just right outside my door. I had to ride my bike up and down the street looking for kids, who's going to play with me. Finally found a girl named Karen at the end of the street. And of course, yes, we're still Facebook friends. Thank God for Facebook because I'm, connected with all my friends, which is great. Continued to kind of have that same posture of meeting friends through middle school. And then in high school, I realized something. I still enjoyed meeting lots of new people, but the thing that I noticed was I met people to fulfill something in me. I wanted friends. If I felt lonely, I would just go meet somebody. But what I noticed was there were other people that were lonely. There were people that were on the outside. And my ability to just go up and meet people and become friends was something that really impacted other people. And I saw the power of that for the first time. And it made me think, wow, I've got like this little superpower that if somebody is having a hard time or unconnected, I can make a difference. I can make them connected. I can make them feel valued. I can find out their story. And when I do, I just absolutely love them. So I saw that. I continued to just kind of pour more energy into that strength, which was a lot of fun. Continued that on through college, enjoyed it, into my youth pastoring in different ministry areas. And then finally, our family, so I'm kind of speeding ahead here a little bit, our family moved to Lincoln because God was calling us to plant a church. So that's what brought us to Lincoln. And the first part of our mission in planting a church was you need to connect with your community. And I said, yes, awesome. So I joined the Moms Club, I joined the chamber, I joined anything that would let me join, I would be there. And I'd be meeting people, and of course, I'm also promoting the church that we started called The Foundry. And I loved it, had so much fun. And I know Ryan said earlier that I like thrift store shopping and yard sailing. So one day, I was out yard sailing, and the lady that was hosting it, I just started a conversation with her and asked her some questions, and she began to open up about her life right there at her yard sale. And as I asked more questions and listened, and I just really felt like I should pray for her. So I said, can I pray for you? And spent some time praying for her and encouraging her. And as I walked to my car, I remember thinking, this is what I was born to do. I felt so much energy and enjoyment, and it was easy, and I felt like I did it well, and there was something going on there. And as it turns out, when I did my StrengthsFinder assessment, it made a lot of sense. I could figure out why I behaved in those ways, and it really answered a lot of questions. So I'll tell you about my top 5. Number 1 is individualization. Yeah, all right. Those people love to connect with other people, hear their story, and they find value in other people really quickly. All their uniquenesses are not weird, they're just really cool, right? And then number 2 is woo. Woohoo! If you have woo, raise your hand. All right. Woo! All right. Woo is the only one that's an acrostic. It stands for winning others over. Those people can make really fast connections with other people. So that's mostly what was coming out in my earlier years. And then number 3 is activator. Those people, we don't like to waste time. Don't keep us in a meeting. We got stuff to do. We're 2 steps ahead of everybody. And we jump in with great momentum. Then next is maximizer. Any maximizers that we know of? Okay, we got one right here. All right, maximizers, they like taking things from good to great. Or in my case with coaching, I like taking people from good to great. So a little promo there. And then my 5th one is belief. Strong convictions, lots of passion. All right, so it made sense. The way that my behaviors were playing out, it made a lot of sense once I saw my StrengthsFinder assessment. So God designed me in a very specific reason for a purpose. And He designed you in a very specific way, very uniquely for a purpose. One of my favorite verses on the StrengthsFinder topic is Ephesians 2:10. For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works which God prepared in advance for us to do. I love this. The word workmanship, you could also put in there masterpiece. We are God's masterpiece. I love that. The Greek word there actually is poema or poem. So there's another meaning. We are God's poem, created in Christ Jesus to do good works. So Ryan mentioned earlier about the strengths can help you with, identity, those questions. Who am I? Well, that verse actually answers the 2 big life questions that we all ask ourselves from at one time or another. Who am I, and why am I here? So who am I? I'm God's masterpiece. I'm created uniquely. I'm God's poem. I'm super intentional. And why am I here? To do good works, which God prepared in advance for me to do. There's intentional work that goes along with my intentional wiring. And it's exciting to think about that God has that planned for each one of us. Super cool. So we were intentionally crafted by God in advance for a specific purpose in his kingdom work and restoration in the world. Our specific hardwiring serves a need in this world. And that's a lot of value placed on each one of us, right? If any of you struggle with feeling like not seen or valued, I just hope you hear the message really strongly tonight that you have much value. There is a plan for you. You were very intentionally designed. Okay, so StrengthsFinder, or Clifton Strengths, it's kind of changed the name over the last couple years, was founded by Donald Clifton. He's the father of strength psychology. And in 1998, he led a team of Gallup scientists to study this question: what will happen if we think about what is right with us rather than fixating on what is wrong with us? What will happen? So they took 40 years of research, and they went in creating this language with 34 different talent themes. And that's what we know as the assessment, right? And then it narrows it down to just our top 5. We don't really even care what, 30 through 34 are, those bottom ones. The focus really is what is right with you. Let's build on that primarily. So the idea is, what they found out from all the 40 years of research is that if you put this amount of energy, whatever it is you're willing to develop into yourself, into what is the best part of you, the top part of you, of your strengths, your growth is going to just be exponential compared to if you're trying to bring up the weaknesses. Because really, a lot of what human behavior, what they've studied over the years is what's wrong with you, right? And then how do we bring that up to be a strength so that we're all well-rounded? You see that in the report cards. When you get a report card and you see, if you were to see a D or something and everything else was an A or a B, what stands out to you? Right? You think about what is wrong with me. What do I need to bring that up? I need to be well balanced. And there's some good stuff with that. I'm not saying forget, and if you have a problem on your report card. But the idea is that when we're thinking about self-development and moving forward and goals, the area really to focus on is what is right with you, that top 5. So Tom Rath, he's the author of StrengthsFinder 2.0. He wrote, if you spend your life trying to be good at everything, you eliminate your chances at being great at anything. And then John Maxwell said, becoming who you are is the first step in becoming better than you are. So becoming who you are is the first step in becoming better than you are. All right. So there was this cool study that happened in the research when they were doing StrengthsFinder research. And so it happened at the University of Nebraska. And what they did was they had a speed reading test. And they took average readers, and then they took the above average readers. And they said, you're going to take the test 2 times. So they gave the test for the first time, and then they marked down, the words per minute for the average group and then the above average group. And then they gave them some training, they taught them some tips and tactics, and went through this whole, couple-day thing, and then they had them take the test again. And this is what they found. They found that the average readers, they increased by 66% in their words per minute. That's pretty good, right? With all that training. But what happens when you have that same training and that same, tip giving and all of that into the above average readers? 828% increase, which is crazy amount of growth for that. But that demonstrates this idea of going with what is best with you, going where your talents already lie. You see that in sports. So the top athletes, do they care about being well-rounded in their game in all the different positions? No. The coach works with them on very specific part of what their talent is. You see that in musicians as well. They really want to work really hard at their instrument or their voice or whatever. So anyway, we are going to take a few minutes. What I want you to do right now is with some people around you, maybe 3 or 4 people, I want you to get into a group, and I want you to ask yourselves the question, what's strong with me? Okay, so if you know your top 5 strengths, you could share that with your group. If you don't know your top 5, that's okay. I want you to go ahead and just make some good guesses, or just with some words. If you don't even know the language of the strengths, that's okay. Just think of some words, if it's kindness or something like that, that's fine. Come up with 3 to 5, if you can, of your strengths. Share them with your group. And then I want you to pick your favorite, okay? Share with your group. Which one's your favorite and why? All right, go ahead. Okay, about 1 more minute. All right. Go ahead and wrap up those conversations. And as you do, I'm going to have my friend Cameron come up here. He's going to share a little bit about his strengths. Hello, Cameron. Welcome, Cameron. Say hello or a wave, a clap. Awesome. Okay, Cameron, what are your top 5 and which one is your favorite?
So my number 1 is maximizer. Any other number 1 maximizers? Anyone? Literally anyone? Wow, that's a little saddening. But like she mentioned earlier, maximizers just love taking something that is good and moving it to great, which creates a little bit of an obsessive characteristic of you just keep going at it and keep going at it. Number 2 is input. So if you ever meet those people that just have a fun fact about everything and you're like, when is that ever going to come in handy? That is me. If you want to know about the most random things, I can answer that. Number 3 is belief. So very strong on my beliefs, very strong on my convictions, and I'm very hard to move. But the input being above that, it's not as difficult. Number 4 is woo, as she mentioned earlier. Yeah, woos. I like how they're the only ones that are proud of what they have. Stay proud on it. Love talking to people. If you come up to me afterwards, you'll probably find that I won't stop talking, then you'll be like, bad decision. And number 5 is adaptability. All of you people that were talking about being organized and liking schedules, like when that schedule gets thrown out the window, you're all like, what do I do? And I'm like, oh, this is great. I hated that schedule. But you guys are the most important people to me because I can't do that. My favorite by far, even though in a professional way Maximizer is more useful, my favorite is input, because for me, it is what drives me to be so passionate about God, of that I can never learn too much. And so anytime someone starts talking to me about their walk with God or what they've been learning, I'm like, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. And so by far, input is my favorite.
Thank you. Very cool. Stay here. I got another question for him. By the way, fun fact, Cameron and I have the same job. We're both community pastors at 2 different churches in Lincoln. So kind of cool, right? Yeah. And of course, we met and we're like, woohoo, right? So we just always were talking and all that. So anyway, so Cameron, which one do you wish you had?
Real quick comment, Sandie is fantastic as well. Like, seriously, if you guys get an opportunity, come and talk to her. She is amazing. The one I wish I had absolutely is discipline. There's nothing I am at like that I'm worse at because I am so hyper all the time and all over the place and adaptability. Discipline, like you people that can get up at 6 a.m. every morning, you are insane to me. They can go to the gym every single day or like remember the smallest tasks every day. Those things just go right out of my head and I'm like, bless their soul, they are amazing, but that is just not who I am at all.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Cameron. Give him a hand. Woo-hoo. All right. Awesome. So again, we are so different, and what we're going to talk about in a little bit is how much we need each other, because